were any good moments that you discovered for yourself, or things that you were able to apply? Something that you learned, or maybe you could share, and we can learn too.
Okay, I'll say it. We've been focusing way too much on the catch, obviously.
Okay.
No, I'm kidding. You guys have to keep focusing.
I appreciate having like something to focus on, like learning from the first and going the second, focusing on the kind of the better hip position. And I noticed when we were doing the pieces that my glutes and my hamstrings were much tighter and more sore than they normally are.
Yay! That's nice.
Is that good?
Yes.
Work, work. Or maybe someone had higher stroke rate as well, so that's a really good point. So you were able to engage in higher muscles to stabilize yourself, which is good. That's exactly what we needed to.
Okay.
And then maybe did someone stay at a higher rate that you normally stay for pieces?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well, I mean, someone beside you makes you stay in a higher rate.
But at least as long as you stay in a target split too, right? But
I don't do enough drills. Like those drills in the beginning, the quarter slide, I've noticed that I'm not always trying to clean up my finish because it just sets up the whole stroke. And I often have kind of a shitty recovery, off balance, and that quarter slide thing, and especially when you said relax your hands because I'll get too tense, that just made everything go so much better. And then the rest of the day was just better because I focused more on that finish and cleaned it up a bit.
it's good. Good to hear.
So thanks.
Anyone else? Same thing?
I could definitely, when you were showing the hip joint and that parallel, like where you actually have the power, I didn't do it all the time, but when I did do it, the boat was way more powerful.
Nice.
Like I could feel it
Okay.
move.
So what we did today, basically, obviously I'm not asking you to race and promise it's going to be very easy. Each race will be obviously, it's the effort, it's the distribution of the effort and the timing when the effort is applied, that is what's important. So it's more sustainable, less injuries, and more pleasant to race, feeling like you actually are racing. That's important. And it should be able to enable the qualities that you've practiced in the winter. Like I said, your endurance, your strengths, and especially you need endurance and strength to be able to work on strength endurance, to be able to sustain higher, so average output will be longer. So once again, the whole idea of this drill, what we did today, is to be able to feel, it may not be your fastest split for 250, right? Because sometimes there's an opposite effect, goes faster as you can for 250, you try to sustain for 500 meters. This one was just to it's your sub fastest split, no, sorry, not sub. I mean, it's, let's say 85%, maybe 90 of your speed for 250, but to manage to stretch it out for 500 meters and 750, not because of the split, but sustainability of the movement and the quality of the movement. Once it becomes more natural and more sustaining, then you can switch to actually, okay, now I feel I've got more timing to press more. And this is where conditioning now will be coming into place. When you do 90-second pieces, 2-minute pieces, 3-minute pieces, to be able to handle average speed for the rate that you've trained. Obviously, it doesn't mean you just practice one time and wait till it fully worked. So you should be able to kind of once a week, couple times a week, practicing to be able to move easier in the boat. Like I said, the more fluid and the more flow you've got around the back end, the whole stroke, the whole return, and the interaction between yourself and the boat should be a lot easier. And you should be able to get up to higher stroke rate, not because of just the power, but because again it's easier for you to move with the boat. The way you move with the boat will reflect the way the boat moves around you as well, right? So that's basically it's a direct correlation. That's basically that's all. And when you practice, my theory is that not theory, it's the fact. Let's say whatever your 500 meters in relation to your 1K split, whatever you're racing. Let's say if I were to ask you go as hard as you possibly can for 500 meter piece. Let's call it, let's say you deliver 100% of power output, whatever the power is. You can convert to split, I'll say by power in terms of watts. Your 1K split will be around, I know for seniors, that's for my stats, it will be, I'll say for 2K, it will be between 80 to 85%. For 1K, probably be maybe 78 to let's say 83%. For masters will be a little bit lower. Why I'm telling you this, so whatever pieces you do for 500 meters as hard as possible, if on a senior level, 500 meters, it's like, so your 2K will be 80 to 85% out of what it can maximum produce for 500 meters. It doesn't mean the pieces that you do for 500 meters, that's the way you'll be doing in 1Ks. Something has to go, right? You will not be able to sustain the same output, but once again, it all becomes to efficiency of the movement. So for masters, between your 500 meters and 1K, probably would be in the mid 70%. That's my guess, approximately 75 to 80 in the best case scenario. So you see, it's a less effort, less speed. Doesn't mean I'm saying go slower, but that will be the fact how speed will be changing. You will not be able to pull as fast, same hard for 5. If you can pull for 1K same speed that you're pulling for 500 meters,
Then you can do your
and not doing 500 meters as fast as it should, right? So it should be some difference here. So what I'm saying is that when you really focus on, let's say, if you have days when you do 4 by 500 meters, 3 by 500 meters, yes, do it as fast as you can. You just purely practice not just the speed that you will be doing for 1K, you practice strength endurance, your conditioning, right? But then the percentage will drop down when you are actually going for 1K pieces. This is when you should be focused on. So on a day one, let's say you do a session when you guys have 500 meters pieces, let's say whatever, Tuesday, and on Saturdays, let's say you are doing 1K trials. So your speed will be changing. So then think what your main focus is. Once you are at your racing distance and you are focusing on your racing rate, think what your priority is, the movement. All right, 500 meters, full on pressure. Yes, there's the movement here, but the goal is to be able to maintain the speed, the conditioning. So each piece, what you do as the coach or as, just really try to think what is the main purpose of the session and really dig deep into making sure you accomplish that. Yes, for example, you may not be able to accomplish the speed, but maybe today you were a little bit tired, but you were able to sustain same output for each 500. Conditioning, you check the box, good. So that's basically it.
To correlate this with 500 meter split, generally there's about a 5-second block. So,
yeah, so
for people who have speed coaches in front of them, they can't tell whether they're going 80%.
yes, really good point.
But if we correlate that with a split,
So I can tell you between 2K and 1K, it will be around, from what I've seen, between 3 to 5 seconds. This would be pretty close to 6, sometimes to 10, I'd probably say 6 to 8 seconds. So just take the difference from here. So what I'm saying is that, like, if I'm doing 1K at the speed of 2K, and we were a GMS. In fact, no, 1K GMS is faster than 2K. So if you are doing 500 meters, it should be at least, 3 seconds faster than your 1K for sure. Or not for one piece, that's assuming you're doing 4 to 6 pieces. Then it will work. If you are capable of doing only one set of 500 meters only at 3 seconds difference of 4 for 1K, and then you are crashing down to 10 seconds difference, conditioning is not there. Just maybe you're not at 3 seconds. You want to be going way slower than that, and to be able to be even across all 4 pieces, and then drive it down. Yeah, that's all.
Back.
great.
Anyways, I'll try to, yeah, very well. I'll try not to overcomplicate too much and break it down into, I'll say, session 1, session 2, specifically linked. So session 1 this morning was really to understand within the short range mechanics of the hand movement around the backhand, so everyone kind of gets an idea, right? Practice within 20 strokes, and then session 2 to be able to take 90% of splits of your speed and then extend it over from 250 to 5 and 750 through ability to move efficiently at a higher rate. That was basically our goal. Hopefully you were able to extract some value from this and practice.
Awesome.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah.